speed, I still use a V, I just don't put the vector symbol over it. That is the symbol for speed. S is not the symbol for speed. So V sub average, that would be 114.28 divided by 8. And we get something that would just make your life seem a little bit better. Oh, okay.
14.28.
Thank you. 14.28.
Yeah. Seconds. No, never mind.
Speed.
Meters a second?
You know, per second. I guess you said meters a second. I guess everyday vernacular that would count. I assume you would write it correctly. My average velocity is 4 meters per second. My average speed is 14.3 meters per second. All right, questions up to here? All right, we skipped over 2 problems here, so let's tackle those. Velocity at 6 seconds. Again, we're back over here. I know time is now 6 seconds. What's gonna be the same? What else? What will be the same? And I think somebody just said it. Yep. And since I've seen this group the least, on February 10th, it'll be after the class. I'll get a hearing aid so I can finally hear the people who are whispering stuff. So that make it sound ominous. No, I'll hear the people who speak very softly. I'm looking forward to that because I just get tired of asking people to repeat themselves. Anyway, so I'm trying to find my velocity, so this is what I'm trying to find. Which equation?
The first one.
Yeah, the first one again. And we end up with, my final velocity is 32 minus 7 times 6, negative 10 meters per second. And then lastly, the time in which the velocity is 10 meters per second. It's not what we just did because that is negative 10 meters per second. To solve this, let's do it a little bit differently. Because that's just using the same first equation again. Oh wait, no, that's what we just did. Yeah, when I find time. Velocity is 10, so we'll just plug it into the same thing. That's a boring question. I got it. Cross that one out. I want to know the time when the displacement is +40 meters. So, we're back to here again. My initial velocity is still 32 meters per second. My acceleration is still negative 7 meters per second squared. The only thing that's changed here is my displacement is now, what did I say? 44, 40. And I'm trying to find time. Which equation?
Do the
Third
third
one.
one this time.
Third one? All right, so if I plug into that third equation, I have 40 equals 32 times time plus 1/2 -7 times time squared. Simplifying it a little bit, I got 40 is equal to 32t minus 3.5t squared. Now what? How do you solve it? Well, I guess the question is, how should you solve it?
Isolate T.
How do you isolate t in a quadratic?
Never mind.
You put everything on one side, and then you, like, root or whatever, make it choose it.
Put everything on one side,
Set
okay?
it to 0,
Now,
or equal to 0.
personally, and I don't know what child this car caused this, but it's just something I do. I like the squared term to be positive, so I'm gonna take everything over to the left-hand side. 3.5 t squared minus 32t plus 40 equals 0. Okay. If you want to if you want to subtract 40 from both sides, fine, you get the same answer. Now what?
Quadratic formula.
What he said. So if I've got ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, what is the quadratic formula?
Opposite of B plus or minus the square root of 4 minus.
Negative b. B squared minus 4ac. All over 2a.
Now let's say that you are at the point in your life where you're thinking, I don't have that memorized, and I'm definitely not gonna sing Pop Goes the Weasel as I try to figure out what the song is, what it is. And for those who know the connection with Pop Goes the Weasel, I apologize, it's not gonna run through my head too. That is my punishment. Quadratic formula will be on the top of a quiz, that'll be somewhere near the top. On the test, it'll be near the top of the first page. If you wanna mess with other people's heads, and you know the quadratic formula doesn't need to be used, and I didn't give it to you, you can always come up, ask me to put it on the board, potentially make someone else think, wait, where was I supposed to use that? It's also possible they'll look at you and go, oh, I can't believe they think they need to use that. But, depends on the game you wanna play. All right, so we end up with 32 plus or minus the square root of 32 squared, or negative 32 squared, minus 4 times 3.5 times 40, divided by 2 times 3.5. If someone would be kind enough, there will be 2 answers.
T is 7.65 and C is 1.49.
Wait, isn't the negative supposed to be negative 32 plus or minus regular 32 squared?
Wait, sorry, what?
Shouldn't it be negative 32 plus or minus square root of?
No, B is negative 32. I got a negative right there. So 7.65 and 1.49
9.
seconds, this is the times. What is the correct answer? I have 2 answers there. Are they both correct? Is one of them correct? What is the correct answer? Or why are there 2 answers?
Because what was the initial, where it's at 40 meters?
Yes.
Because we passed it 2 times. There's
Yes.
one going positive axis and one going.
40 meters, it's gonna be about here, so we pass it on the way in the positive direction, and we pass it on the way in the negative direction. If I had said, 10 meters, then I would have gotten 2 times, one of which would have been under 8 seconds, and the other one would have been after 8 seconds. So in which case, the one after 8 seconds would not be a legitimate answer. If I had said, extended it, and so it went longer than 8 seconds, and I figured at what time would we be at the displacement of negative 15 meters, I would have gotten a positive answer and a negative answer. Positive answer is the correct one. Negative answer means it happened before time is equal to 0. Because the math, what we are doing here is if we plotted that, if I have a quadratic there, if I had position versus time, I basically have a quadratic. I have a parabola. This is when the problem starts. That's my initial position. I go out, I come back. Or if I looked at displacement, it would look like this. And it's gonna hit, basically if I drew a line out, it's gonna hit twice. Some of it takes place before the problem happens. Because as far as the math is concerned, it thinks that, oh, I can have negative time. As far as we're concerned, well, we started the problem at time is equal to 0. Negative time is before anything started. Physics sometimes is just math with boundary conditions. But on that note, I will see you Friday. The lab is posted. Oh, and if you haven't done dummy assignment this week, please do a dummy assignment this week. You're looking at me strangely. It's just, you go on the blackboard, you click on dummy assignment, you put something into the blank, hit submit or save. Pardon?
Do you want us to just keep?
Yeah, that's why I would like you to do it once a week.
What is it for?
The bean counters.
No.
It